New data shows more than 1 in 4 borrowers in the area of Los Angeles Palisades Fire are at risk of falling behind on their mortgage payments. Financial services company Intercontinental Exchange says in total, about 3,300 LA residents could be affected. That's up from about 680 borrowers who missed mortgage payments in January. Cal Fire says at least 29 people were killed in January in the Palisades and Eaton fires. More than 16,000 structures, including more than 11,000 homes, were destroyed. Intercontinental Exchange says when the fires broke out, there was already $11 billion in outstanding mortgage debt in those areas. Sarah McGregor joins us now. She's the managing editor of the national desk at Bloomberg News. Sarah, thank you for being here on this topic. You know, Bloomberg spoke to International Exchange's head of housing research, who said it's not unheard of after major disasters. So what did he say, and how long does this tend to last?
Yes. So as you just mentioned, 16,000 structures destroyed. Most of them are homes. They're not businesses. They're not apartments. They're people who are now facing the prospect of rebuilding. And a lot of them obviously have mortgages and have to figure out within the next 90 days how they're going to make those payments. Most banks, big banks, credit unions, big and small, have given a 90-day window for mortgage payers, for borrowers, to give them a reprieve. But after that, they'll be on the hook. And the tricky situation is that right now, people whose homes have burnt down, obviously they're getting cost of living expenses paid out if they were lucky enough to have insurance or have adequate insurance. But, you know, once those payments stop coming, people are going to have those mortgages on their books. And that's when we're going to see the Intercontinental Exchange's risk profile that you just cited start to play in, where people now, 1 in 4 in Palisades, 1 in 6 in Altadena, are at risk of delinquency.
And so Bloomberg also reported that the delinquencies are an early indicator of the fire's financial impact on homeowners. What does that financial impact entail?
We do have one study out by UCLA that says the economic cost of these fires could be $164 billion. It would be one of the costliest natural disasters in U.S. history. A big, obviously, part of that is just the high cost of housing, of that real estate that these fires rip through. You know, the median home price in the Palisades, for instance, is over $3 million. And so the cost of rebuilding is obviously going to be very high. Right now, you know, the focus is on cleaning up the disaster area. We just had a statement out from Governor Newsom's office saying 9,000 properties have been cleared of hazardous debris, which then goes into the second phase of the cleanup. And then, you know, the next phases will obviously be the infrastructure. How are they going to rebuild the roads? How are they going to do underground power lines? There's just a huge overall cost in terms of rebuilding these areas. Some of it will become on the homeowners. Some will obviously be on the state. And of course, Gavin Newsom is asking for $40 billion from the federal government, from Donald Trump, to be able to pay for some of this.
How hard is it to balance rebuilding costs and a mortgage? I mean, what happens to these homeowners if they fall behind, and what kind of options do they have?
We were just speaking with one home builder who works in the Palisades, and they were telling us an anecdote where someone they know is getting $1.7 million back from their insurance for the cost of their home burning down. At the same time, the estimated cost of them to rebuild, and this would be on the low end, is $2.2 million. And so this person has just decided to probably sell their property. That's what they're considering now, settle the mortgage and move to a cheaper area. So I think there is a widespread feeling that some of the insurance payouts will not be able to cover the cost of rebuilding. And in addition to that, it will take years to rebuild in many cases. And so people will obviously need to have a place to live and pay for those expenses at the same time that they are, you know, waiting for their house to be rebuilt. And of course, there's thousands and thousands of homes that need to be rebuilt. So there's just questions even on the logistics of, you know, how can everybody at once have enough labor and enough resources to, you know, to be the first.
And earlier this week, California Governor Gavin Newsom proposed a $125 million mortgage relief plan for fire victims. How will that work?
So this is more for low and middle income people that it is geared towards. You know, I still think in many cases, relief that will come with some of these mortgage programs or other assistance that the state and the city and the county are trying to give will be probably a drop in the bucket compared to what a lot of people are facing. LA has sky-high housing costs. A lot of people could afford to live in the homes that they were in because they'd been in there for generations, or they'd come in when there were low interest rates. And so the cost of rebuilding and some of these offers that are being thrown their way, they will have to sort of add into, take out their calculators and add up whether that is actually going to be enough to make a difference for them.
All right, Sarah McGregor, thank you.
Thank you.